Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour with me, Deepika. In the next 1 hour, we'll get you all the latest from across the world. Let's begin with the top headlines. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi gets an unprecedented welcome on his arrival in Mauritius. His counterpart, Naveen Ramgoolam, and many top leaders received Prime Minister Modi at the airport. American and Ukrainian representatives to meet in Jeddah after disastrous White House talks. As US President Trump eyes world's largest island, Greenland holds parliamentary polls. And global markets tank again amid fears that Trump's policies could plunge economy into recession. Nasdaq suffers biggest one-day loss since 2022. And now it's time to get you all the latest from Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Mauritius visit. Well, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Mauritius capital Port Louis this morning on a two-day state visit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi landed in Mauritius to a grand and warm welcome. In a special gesture, Mauritius's Prime Minister Naveen Ramgoolam welcomed his India counterpart with a warm hug. There was a total of 200 dignitaries present to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the early hours, which included MPs, MLAs, diplomatic corps and religious leaders. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was accorded a ceremonial welcome at the airport. He will attend the National Day celebrations as the chief guest in Mauritius on the 12th of March. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also got a rousing welcome on his arrival by the members of the Indian community in Mauritius. Chants of Modi, Modi were echoed. A Bihari tradition welcomes Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Mauritius. Prime Minister Narendra Modi welcomed by traditional Geet Gavai. Geet Gavayan is a traditional Bhojpuri musical ensemble that embodies the rich cultural heritage brought to Mauritius by women from the Bhojpuri belt of India. In recognition of its cultural significance, Geet Gavai was inscribed on UNESCO's representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity in December 2016. Now, the visit comes right in the beginning of a fresh term of office for Mauritius Prime Minister Ramgoolam, and of course, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also into his third term of the office. So the visit is indeed a very timely visit and will enable both the sides to take stock of bilateral ties and provide orientation to engagement in the coming months and years as well. Let's now take a look at what's on the agenda of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Mauritius visit. Well, one of the highlights of the visit is that the Prime Minister is being invited as the chief guest as well for the National Day celebrations of Mauritius, which will take place on the 12th of March. And on the occasion of the National Day, a contingent of the Indian Defence Forces will participate in the celebrations. He will visit the Sir Sivasagar Ramgoolam Botanical Garden to pay homage to Sir Sivasagar Ramgoolam, the former Prime Minister and the founding father of Mauritius, and also Sir Anirudh Jagnauth, former President and former Prime Minister of Mauritius. Moving on to other official engagements, the Prime Minister will call on the new President of Mauritius, Dharambir Gokul, and this will be followed by bilateral meetings with Prime Minister Ramgoolam. It is expected that there will be meetings with other political leaders during the visit as well. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Prime Minister Ramgoolam will together inaugurate a few projects that have been implemented with Indian assistance and will also witness the signing of several MOUs on cooperation in the field of capacity building, bilateral trade, tackling of cross-border financial crimes and promoting small and medium enterprises as well. Now, there will also be an interaction with the members of the Indian community, Friends of India and socio-cultural organizations in Mauritius during the visit. So that is more or less the elements of the visit and some of the things that are likely to happen during the visit. And sharing pictures on social media platform X, Prime Minister Narendra Modi wrote, and I quote his statement here, "Landed in Mauritius, I am grateful to my friend Prime Minister Dr. Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam for the special gesture of welcoming me at the airport. This visit is a wonderful opportunity to engage with a valued friend and explore new avenues for collaboration in various sectors. Today, I will be meeting President Dharam Kokul, Prime Minister Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam and addressing a community program in the evening." Unquote. After receiving warm welcome by the Indian diaspora, Prime Minister Narendra Modi wrote, and I quote him here, "Deeply touched by the warm welcome from the Indian community in Mauritius, their strong connection to Indian heritage, culture and values is truly inspiring. This bond of history and heart continues to thrive across generations." Unquote. There you can see the welcoming visuals, how Prime Minister Narendra Modi was greeted by the Prime Minister of Mauritius himself, along with several other dignitaries from the government sector present to receive Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the Mauritius airport. Now, Ganga Talao, also known as Grand Basin, is referred as Mauritius's most significant Hindu pilgrimage site and symbolizes the Ganges River of India. The holy waters of Ganga Talao were infused with water from the Ganges River in the year 1972. The lake is surrounded by temples dedicated to Lord Shiva, Lord Ganesh and Lord Hanuman. The Shiva temple at Ganga Talao, believed to be the 13th Jyotirlinga, also known as Mauritius' Eswarnath Jyotirling, according to local legend, was established in the year 1897 by Pandit Chumongiri. During the visit of India's President Draupadi Murmu to Mauritius in the year 2024, it was announced that the government of India will support the redevelopment of Ganga Talao complex into a religious, cultural and tourist hub. TD India correspondent Akshay Dongre spoke with the trustee and caretaker of the sacred lake in Mauritius on the significance of Ganga Talao. Take a listen.
We are currently at Ganga Talao in Mauritius, one of the most revered spiritual and religious sites. And to talk about how this place is significant, we also have Mr. Satish Dayal with us. Sir, thank you so much for speaking with us. There is a lot of interest as far as the Ganga Talao is concerned. Many people also consider the temple here as the 13th Jyotirlinga as well in India too. So as the Prime Minister is arriving here in Mauritius, there is a lot of interest as far as India is concerned and in the world as well that these kind of places exist in Mauritius. So can you tell us about the significance of this Ganga Talao?
The Ganga Talao is a very important place, a spiritually revered place, as you mentioned it. It is a Tirthistan, a place of pilgrimage too. And recently it has been declared as a heritage, spiritual heritage too. For the Hindu, it is a great symbol.
Right.
It is a great symbol because Ganga Talao is a sacred lake. In spite of being a sacred lake, it's a volcanic lake too. And it is a natural lake.
Right.
For Hindu, it is a great symbolism, this lake itself. The two things at Ganga Talao is very important. One is the lake itself. Secondly, the world 13th Jyotirlinga is here. The 12 Jyotirlinga in India, it is the only one which is outside India. And it is considered as the main temple of the country. And very often we used to experience miraculous happenings. And the temple is very, very famous all throughout the world.
You heard all the significance of this Ganga Talao and like Mr. Dayal has explained to us in so many words that how special and pious this lake is and how Mauritius is perhaps the only country outside India that has a Jyotirlinga as well. With camera person Ajit Kumar, I'm Akshay Dongre, DD India.
Now, Indian naval ship Imphal makes her maiden port call at Port Louis, which is the capital city of Mauritius, on Monday. The ship will participate in the 57th Mauritius National Day celebrations on the 12th of March. The visit of INS Imphal is in keeping with the tradition of Indian warships and aircraft participating in Mauritius' National Day celebrations. The ship will field a marching contingent, naval band and helicopter for the fly past at the National Day Parade at Champs de Mars in Mauritius. Pandu Leni caves, located just outside Nashik, are a stunning blend of history, faith and artistry. Dating back to 250 BC, these 24 rock-cut caves echo Buddhist and Jain heritage, with breathtaking views and intricate carvings, making it a must-visit for history lovers and adventurers alike. DD India correspondent Taposh Bhattacharya has got more details in this report. Take a look.
Perched atop the Terasmi hill near Nasik, the Pandu Leni cave stands as a timeless guardian of India's rich Buddhist and Jain tradition. Dating back as far as 250 BC to 600 AD, these 24 rock-cut caves echoes the stories of faith and artistry and history. Reaching the caves is an adventure in itself. A climb of nearly 350 steps rewards you with a breathtaking panoramic view, but the true marvel lies within the intricate carvings. Ancient water tanks and grand viharas reveal the craftsmanship of Kshatripas, Satavahanas and Ahirs, the dynasties that once ruled Nasik. Local legends whisper that these caves were once the refuge of the Pandavas, leading them the name of Pandu Leni, meaning the Pandavas' caves in Marathi. Despite the passage of time, the caves remain remarkably preserved, with their northern-facing entrance shielding the majestic sculptures and inscriptions. Whether you are a history buff or an adventurer or a seeker of peace, Pandu Leni Caves promises a journey into India's glorious past. This is Taposh Bhattacharya signing off from the Pandu Leni Caves in Nasik.
Time to take a short break, but still to come on DD India News Hour. Search ends for missing crew member after North Sea collision. Former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte arrested in Manila on ICC warrant over his war on drugs. And Japan marks 14th anniversary of 2011 earthquake, tsunami and nuclear crisis with moment of silence and memorial service.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked, we just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Now, US Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard will visit India soon. Sharing a post on social media platform X, Gabbard stated, and I quote her here, "I'm wheels up on a multi-nation trip to the Indo-Pacific, a region I know very well, having grown up as a child of the Pacific. I'll be going to Japan, Thailand and India with a brief stop in France en route back to TC." Gabbard also stated that her first stop was in Honolulu. She called building strong relationships, understanding and open lines of communication vital to achieving the US President Donald Trump's objectives of peace, freedom and prosperity. Now, this is the first visit by a top White House official to India under the Trump administration. Her visit to India follows Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the US in the month of February. During his visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met with Tulsi Gabbard and called her a strong votary of the India-US friendship. Gabbard also called it an honour to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi and said she looks forward to continue strengthening the US-India friendship. Now, the world will be anxiously following the high-stakes diplomatic talks between the US and Ukraine slated for today in Jeddah. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and US Secretary of State Marco Rubio have both held separate meetings with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman ahead of key discussions on Ukraine's future. Let us get you more details in this report. Take a look.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's visit is seen as a crucial diplomatic efforts to secure international support for Ukraine in the ongoing conflict with Russia. In his discussions with the Crown Prince Mohammed, Zelensky emphasized the importance of security guarantees for his country. He also said on the social media platform X that the Ukrainian delegation remains in Jeddah to work with the US team on Tuesday, and its position in these talks will be fully constructive. He especially emphasized the issues of the release of prisoners and said that a significant part of the discussion was dedicated to the formats of the security guarantees. Meanwhile, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio addressed broader geopolitical issues, including promoting stability in Syria, confronting to Houthi threats in Yemen.
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी बोटैनिकल गार्डन भी गए.
Mauritius, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first day visit there in Mauritius, where he is doing the wreath-laying ceremony and paying homage to the former president. And the tree plantation ceremony is also taking place with the Prime Minister of Mauritius. Prime Minister Narendra Modi currently watering the plants there as a symbol of peace and harmony along with growth and justice. And there you can also see Prime Minister Narendra Modi also signing a booklet, etching the memories and his feedback on the Mauritius visit and making it a memorable one. These are the visuals that we are receiving from Sir Sivasagar Ramgoolam Botanic Garden, which is also known as the Pamplemousse Botanic Garden and is a popular tourist attraction as well there in Port Louis, Mauritius. It is famous for its long pond of giant water lilies, and the garden was first constructed by Pierre Pauvre and covers an area of around 37 hectares. Prime Minister Narendra Modi there paying homage to the former president and as well as the Prime Minister of Mauritius. These are the live visuals that we are getting from Sivasagar Ramgoolam Botanical Garden. From Mauritius. Today is day one of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's two-day visit to Mauritius. Tomorrow he will be attending the National Day of Mauritius as the chief guest, but today he would be having bilateral meetings as well, and before that the wreath-laying ceremony, the plantation of tree as a symbol of harmony, peace and growth, depicting the strong ties between India and Mauritius, as we can see. They're very much evident in the pictures that we are receiving from Port Louis in Mauritius. Now, this visit comes at a very important time where the current Prime Minister of Mauritius is having his term in the office, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also leading his third term in the office from India and showcasing the great bilateral strength India has with different countries, Mauritius being one of them, and also considering the trade partner Mauritius serves as for India and the strong ties between both the countries. There you can see the visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi paying respect. Before that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also received a ceremonial welcome by the Indian diaspora and at the airport as well, whose visuals we just saw Few minutes ago, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was received with a rousing welcome by the Indian diaspora and also the entire cabinet of Mauritius's government. Not only the Prime Minister of Mauritius himself visited the airport to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but there were other dignitaries including the MLAs, the MPs of the Mauritius government who received Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Mauritius for his 2-day state visit to Mauritius. And apart from that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be holding different bilateral level meetings across the day today on day 1, and on day 2 he will be attending the National Day celebrations of Mauritius as the chief guest, there representing India with a strong significance, emphasizing on the stronger ties of India and Mauritius that we just saw. We also saw a very special report on how the Ganges River is also setting a new benchmark there with another landmark achievement and landmark place they established in Mauritius. Now there you can see Prime Minister Narendra Modi laying the wreath and planting a tree along with the Prime Minister of Mauritius at Sir Sivasagar Ramgoolam Botanical Garden. Also, while connecting with the local population of Mauritius, Prime Minister Narendra Modi engaged with key leaders. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also explored the country's natural wonders, and there you can see that how he is so much engaged, taking a stock of everything there in Mauritius and giving his feedback, the protocol which is followed by the dignitaries when a state visit is followed by a prime minister in a particular country. This is the protocol which is being followed. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi having an interaction with the Prime Minister of Mauritius and laying the wreath there. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived on Tuesday in Mauritius for his 2-day visit in the East African nation, and he was received at the airport in Polo by Mauritian Prime Minister Naveen Ramgoolam. And interestingly, as you can see in the visuals as well, the two leaders were caught exchanging a warm hug there at the airport as well, and now exchanging a warm gesture of planting a tree at the landmark site there in Mauritius. Apart from that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be attending the 57th National Day celebrations of Mauritius as the chief guest. And furthermore, a contingent of Indian Defence Forces will also participate in the celebrations along with the warship of the Indian Navy on the 12th of March. There you saw the visuals coming in from Mauritius, Port Louis, of Prime Minister Narendra Modi laying the wreath and also planting a tree along with the Prime Minister of Mauritius. Moving on, now military chiefs from 30 European and NATO countries willing to contribute to security guarantees for Ukraine after any negotiated truce with Russia are to meet in Paris on Tuesday. The move comes as US President Donald Trump upends the transatlantic alliance and seeks rapprochement with Moscow. The talks will center on the necessary rearmament of Europe and military support to Ukraine. Turkey, with NATO, is looking to play a key role in Europe's security after Washington's pivot away from the region. The Kurdish-led US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces has signed a deal agreeing to integrate into Syria's new state institutions. The deal, that included a complete cessation of hostilities, was signed by interim Syrian President Ahmad al-Shara and the SDF's commander Maslum Abdi. Under the deal, all civilian and military institutions in northeast Syria will be integrated within the state, which will thus take over control of borders, airports and oil and gas fields. The SDF agrees to support the government in combating remnants of deposed President Bashar al-Assad's regime and any threats to Syria's security and unity. Now, Abdi has previously expressed a willingness for his forces to be part of the new defense ministry, but said they should join as a bloc rather than as individuals. Now, Greenland will hold a parliamentary election today with independence a key campaign theme after US President Donald Trump said he wants control over the world's biggest island. Polling stations will open at 4:30 p.m. IST and close at 3:30 a.m. IST on the 12th of March. No exit polls will be conducted and results are expected between 6:30 a.m. IST and 8:30 a.m. IST on the 12th of March. Of the 6 parties running, only Nalurek has promised to hold a snap vote on independence, and all the parties except for Atasut support secession. The vote comes at a time of heightened international interest in Greenland, particularly after the US President Donald Trump expressed a desire to acquire the island, underscoring its strategic and economic significance. Greenland's Prime Minister Mute Egede criticized Trump's remarks, stating the island deserves respect and will prioritize relations with nations that acknowledge its sovereignty. In his speech to Congress last week, Donald Trump said that he would acquire Greenland one way or the other. And on Sunday, he attempted to appeal to Greenlanders directly by reiterating his invitation to join the US and pledging to invest billions of dollars to create new jobs and make them rich. Now, Greenland, the sparsely populated island, has caught global attention as US President Donald Trump has set his eyes on acquiring the mineral-rich territory from Denmark for economic and strategic purposes. Meanwhile, indigenous identity is seeing a revival and call for independence, which is getting louder in Greenland. DD India correspondent Shubhendu Ghosh brings us more. Take a look.
We need Greenland for national security and even international security. And I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
US President Donald Trump's unambiguous interest in Greenland has shaken the status quo in the world's largest island this election season. Some see it as a historic opportunity to push for freedom from Danish influence, while others caution a rashly attained independence may make Greenland more vulnerable to the expansionist ambitions of the American president. Greenlanders vote in the general elections on March 11th. Greenland's parliament is called Inatsisartut. The parliament comprises 31 members and elections are held every 4 years. Greenland is not divided into electoral districts. The whole of Greenland constitutes a single constituencies. A total of 6 parties and 213 candidates are in the fray in these elections. At present, Greenland operates a semi-autonomous territory under the Kingdom of Denmark. Indigenous identity is seeing a revival in Greenland ahead of the elections. All the main parties support independence, but they differ on how and when it could be achieved. The ruling Inuit Ataqatigiit IA party, a left-wing faction headed by Prime Minister Mute Egede, advocates an unhurried approach to Greenland's independence. On the other hand, Greenland's largest opposition party, Nalurek, and its leader, Pele Broberg, want to see a swift transition to full independence.
The idea, the vision of becoming independent and being here in our own house has been a long time coming. It has been going on for many decades. It is nothing new. It has not just happened.
I want to make it very clear that in the eyes of the Danish government, Greenland is for the Greenlandic people. It is a very proud people with its own language and culture. It is a people that is their own. And as the chairman of the government of Greenland has stated before, Greenland is not for sale.
In addition to the question of independence, the country's relations with Denmark and the US, social services, tourism, as well as its fragile fishing and Danish grants-dependent economy are the main water concerns. As a country, Greenland would be the 12th largest in the world by area. It is also the least populated region, with a population of around 57,000 scattered in a few coastal towns and remote settlements. Almost 80% of Greenland's landmass is covered by the ice sheet. The sparsely populated region is believed to hold billions of tons of untapped rare earth minerals and oil reserves. Greenland's strategic location and resources make it an attractive acquisition for the American president. US already has a military base in northwest of Greenland. The general elections are expected to reveal where and how the Greenlanders see their future. Shubhendu Ghosh's report for TD India.
Former Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte was arrested on Tuesday after landing at Manila's international airport by police acting on an international criminal court warrant over his deadly war on drugs. Duterte's war on drugs was a signature policy after he swept to power in 2016 after crime-busting campaign vowed to kill narcotics dealer. Human rights groups claim that Philippine police and vigilantes under their direction killed unarmed drug suspects on a massive scale on Duterte's watch, allegations that the authorities have denied. The ICC has said it would pursue an investigation of suspected crimes against humanity. While Duterte subsequently withdrew the Philippines from the ICC, the government under new leader Marcos has indicated Duterte could be handed over. Duterte said on Monday in Hong Kong that he was ready to be arrested if the ICC issued a warrant. The Constitutional Court is in hibernation mode ahead of its impending ruling of President Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment. Those supporting impeachment began a hunger strike calling for Yoon's dismissal from the office. Others protesting the move held a head-shaving ceremony and called for the president's reinstatement. Now, potential clashes between the two sides could occur on the day of the ruling. In preparation, the police decided to encircle a 100-meter radius area around the Constitutional Court with a vehicle barricade on the day for handling the crowd. Japan marked 14 years on Tuesday since a devastating earthquake and tsunami rocked the country's northeast and triggered a nuclear crisis. People across Japan will observe a moment of silence and prayers for the victims at 5:46 GMT when the magnitude 9 Templar struck off the Pacific coast, leading to the death of over 22,000 people. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba is scheduled to attend a memorial service hosted by Fukushima Prefecture, where the crippled Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power complex is located. When the triple disaster struck 14 years ago, scores of people were forced from their homes. The disaster-prone nation has since taken steps to be better prepared for natural calamities, including the handling of evacuations and rebuild the affected areas. While there has been progress in the recovery of Fukushima and others, two hardest hit prefecture of Miyagi and Iwate, about 28,000 people remain displaced across the nation, and areas in 7 municipalities in Fukushima are still designated as off-limits due to radiation. We are heading for a short break. We'll be right back.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on TD India.
Welcome back after that short break. Now, the Jet A1 fuel leak in the North Sea after a collision of US tanker and cargo vessel has sparked global environmental concerns, with experts warning that it could lead to devastating effects on marine life and the ecosystem. TD India's Yashasvi brings you this report. Take a look.
A tanker carrying jet fuel for the US military collided with a container ship off northeast England on Monday, sparking a massive blaze and multiple explosions. The incident forced both crews to abandon ship. 36 crew members were rescued and one taken to hospital. The tanker, Stena Immaculate, was carrying around 220,000 barrels of jet fuel, while the container ship, Solong, had 15 containers of sodium cyanide on board. The collision ruptured the tanker's cargo tank, releasing fuel into the sea and raising concerns about environmental harm, particularly to protected seabird colonies and marine life. All vessel movements were suspended in the vicinity, and Germany dispatched a vessel for firefighting and oil recovery.
The problem with this sort of spill is that it will evaporate, but also it makes it more dangerous in terms of likely explosions. So, it has to be dealt with very carefully. I think it's highly unlikely it's going to explode when it hits the coast, but it will cause pollution incidents along the coast.
The incident has sparked concerns about multiple toxic hazards and environmental harm, as Jet A1 fuel is highly flammable and toxic. The UK Coast Guard ended the search for the missing crew member after an extensive search. Collisions remain rare in the busy North Sea, but this incident highlights the importance of maritime safety and environmental protection. Bureau Report, DD India.
In Mexico, at least 32 people were killed on Monday in two separate bus crashes. At least 18 were killed in southern Oaxaca state when a bus turned over along a highway, while 14 people died in the country's north in a fiery collision between a tractor-trailer and a bus carrying passengers from the US state of Texas. Of the 24 people traveling in the bus, only 10 managed to get out alive. The authorities are investigating both the accidents, which highlighted issues like high speeds, poor road conditions and driver fatigue in Mexico. Guatemalan authorities evacuated around 1,000 people after Central America's most active volcano erupted, spewing lava and ash along with rocks. Around 30,000 people were potentially at risk and should evacuate themselves if necessary. The authorities have urged them to evacuate if necessary. The volcano's eruption has caused widespread damage, with ash and lava flows affecting nearby communities. The Guatemalan government has declared a state of emergency in the affected areas, and rescue efforts are currently ongoing. The Vatican announced on Monday that Pope Francis's health is improving and his life is no longer at risk. The 88-year-old Pope was hospitalized on the 14th of February with bronchitis, which developed into pneumonia in both the lungs. Despite experiencing breathing difficulties that sparked global concern, including a recent crisis on the 3rd of March, the Pope has shown steady improvement over the past week. The Vatican stated that his prognosis is no longer uncertain, but he will require continued hospital treatment for several days due to the complexity of his condition and severe infection. Once this treatment is completed, it is expected that he will be able to return back home. Workers in Washington on Monday began removing a Black Lives Matter street mural installed during the height of 2020 racial justice protest, bowing to pressure from President Donald Trump. City officials in the U.S. Capitol have credited the art installation with calming tensions near the White House, where violent clashes between the protesters and security personnel had occurred in the days prior. Trump, who was president at the time of the unrest, returned to the office in January, seeking to overturn the so-called diversity, equity and inclusion practices that spread widely throughout the public and private sectors following the George Floyd protests. Congressional Republicans and Trump aides had eyed the mural as part of their move to force changes in the administration of Washington. Extratropical cyclone Alfred has brought severe weather conditions to eastern Australia, causing widespread flooding with over 120,000 homes and businesses currently without power. Emergency crews rescue people stranded in floodwaters. The heavy rainfall has floated rivers, inundating parts of the east coast, particularly in southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales. The Australian Weather Authorities has issued flood warnings, with rivers expected to continue rising throughout the day. Sky gazers are in for a treat as the first lunar eclipse of the year 2025 is all set to take place this week, coinciding with the festival of Holi. On the 14th of March, a total lunar eclipse will occur, turning the moon a deep red shade, which is why it is called a blood moon. Interestingly, this year, the blood moon has a special connection with Holi. During the eclipse, the moon will pass into the Earth's shadow and gradually change colors from grey to pink, then orange and finally red. This lunar eclipse is completely safe to watch with the naked eye. The best view will be in North and South America, where the eclipse will be fully visible. However, people in Europe, Africa and Asia will only get to see partial eclipse. An unusual competition is enthralling the residents and shepherds of Canberra, Australia. It's not about rather sheep, but the sheepdogs. The 82nd National Sheepdog Trials are underway at the hall. 80 competitors with more than 300 working dogs will compete in the event that culminates in the national champion being crowned on Sunday. The dogs are given the ethos of herding the sheep to their enclosures. The sheep might travel some distance, but the dog will probably travel 2/3 or 3 times the distance that those sheep will travel in order to take control of their path. Each dog gets 15 minutes and 100 points. They lose points for the sheep going off the course or not getting an obstacle. You're watching DD India News Hour, and now it's time to get you all the latest from across the world in brief. In the scenic port city of Choshi near Tokyo, Miyazawa Masaki keeps a 200-year-old tradition alive. His colorful Mayawashiki Taryobata flags, once good luck charms for fishermen, are now treasured as spring gifts for milestones like graduations or marriages. Using rice glue and skillful brushwork, Miyazawa pours heart and precision into every flag. As he hopes to pass this cherished craft to the next generation, these vibrant flags carry both history and celebration into the future. Inspired by her frustration with the lack of female artists on record shop shelves, Lauren Carter from Hobart, Australia, created a heaven for women-led music. With the support of her family, her shop exclusively stocks works by female solo artists and female-led bands. Amid a male-dominated industry, Carter's mission elevates women's voices, celebrating their talent and ensuring they are heard. It's a revolution, one record at a time. Vietnam is shining on the global cinema stage as Hollywood selects iconic locations like Cat Ba and Ninh Pan for major production. With government-backed policies supporting the filmmakers, Vietnam is set to become a global filmmaking hub. This initiative boosts tourism, aiming to attract 22 to 23 million international visitors while showcasing Vietnam's beauty and potential as a world-class filming destination. We're heading for a short break, but still to come on DD India News Hour. Elon Musk claims massive cyber attack behind global outages on X. Indian Film Festival in South Africa celebrates Bollywood and International Women's Day. Welcome back after that short break. Now, let's get you the business news first. The world market stumbled on Monday as fears of an impending US recession triggers. Experts are sounding out that the prospect of a recession in the US is lurking, with consumer confidence falling and companies facing increasing trade complexity. Investors are turning more nervous and markets sending jitters to signal its apparent unease.
Policies of US President Donald Trump pushing the US economy to the recession quagmire. At least 70 out of 74 economists in US, Canada and Mexico contacted by Newswire services Reuters think so. So do the experts at many financial firms at the Wall Street. And the markets may have just given a stinging reminder. Global markets slumped on Monday with Wall Street logging sharp losses over fears of recession. Uncertainty over Trump's tariffs and threats have left US financial markets in turmoil and consumers unsure of what the year might bring. Nasdaq Composite Index plummeted by 4.0%. The S&P 500 was down 2.7%, both seeing worst today since 2022. The S&P 1500 Super Composite Index, one of the widest measures of the US stock market, has lost nearly $4.9 trillion in value since its record high in mid-February. The Nasdaq was bogged down by retreats in tech stocks including Google parent Alphabet, Apple, Amazon, Meta and Nvidia. Tesla, led by Trump's billionaire advisor Elon Musk, closed more than 15% down. While markets were previously bolstered by hopes of tax cuts and lighter regulation, immediate worries over tariffs has clouded every other factor, adding fuel to the raging fire's heavy job cuts being implemented by Elon Musk and his Doge team. Beijing's retaliatory duties on certain US agricultural goods came into force on Monday after Chinese products were hit with additional 20% US tariffs. Trump, in a Fox News interview aired over the weekend, declined to predict whether his economic policies would cause a recession. A new wave threatens to arrive this week, with steep levies of 25% on steel and aluminium imports due to take effect on Wednesday. Bureau Report, DD India.
Now, Elon Musk claimed on Monday afternoon that X was targeted in a massive cyber attack that resulted in the intermittent service outages that had brought down his social network throughout the day. The cyber attack impacted thousands of users in the US and the UK, with owner Elon Musk blaming an unusually powerful cyber attack.
Billionaire and Department of Government Efficiency Chief Elon Musk's social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, experienced massive outages throughout Monday morning that impacted thousands of users in Asia, Europe and North America. The platform monitor, Down Detector, said it had seen tens of thousands of reports from US users of technical issues affecting the platform. Musk said in an interview that a massive cyber attack has hit his X social media platform, and the cyber attack came from IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
We're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
But the SpaceX and Tesla boss, who has been a frequent critic of Ukraine and its President Volodymyr Zelensky, offered no evidence to support the claim and did not say whether or not he thought state actors were involved. Musk also blamed a cyber attack, although he provided no evidence for crashing the site last year when an interview with Donald Trump was about to be streamed. Well, Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion in late 2022. Under his ownership, the platform has experienced technical issues repeatedly. Anamika Pandey, DD India.
And now let's get you all the latest from the world of sports. England's Harry Brook has withdrawn from the Indian Premier League for the second straight season, a move which could lead to his suspension for 2 years from the tournament. Brook apologized to the Delhi Capitals franchisee and its supporters on social media, stressing that playing for England remains his priority and focus. Well, Brook is one of the favourites, along with England Test captain Ben Stokes, to replace Jos Buttler as the white ball captain. Buttler resigned from the post following its group stage elimination at the Champions Trophy. The IPL Governing Council has introduced a new rule stating that if a player makes himself unavailable after being picked in the auction, he will be banned for 2 seasons. In women's cricket, Harmanpreet Kaur's fluent half-century was backed by an exceptional bowling performance as Mumbai Indians beat Gujarat Giants by 9 runs to strengthen their chances of finishing on top in the Women's Premier League. Harmanpreet showcased her class as she slammed 9 boundaries to score 54 of 33 balls and anchor Mumbai to a competitive total of 179 for 6. The bowlers then took over with superb performances from Shabneem Ismail and Amelia Kerr as Mumbai Indians bowled Gujarat Giants out for 170 in 20 overs, despite a whirlwind 25 ball 61 by Bharti Fulnali. With this victory, Mumbai has joined Delhi Capitals at 10 points, but still stay at second position due to a lower net run rate. In tennis, defending champion Iga Swiatek will face Czech's Karolina Mukova in the 4th round of Indian Wells on Tuesday. Earlier on Monday, Swiatek defeated Diana Yastromska by 6-0, 6-2 in the 3rd round to edge closer to an unprecedented 3rd Indian Wells title. Elsewhere in women's singles title, 17-year-old Mira Andreeva will face Indian Wells champion Alina Rybakina in the 4th round of the championship on Wednesday in morning. The Jaipur Polo Ground in New Delhi is all set to host the BMC Advisors Northern India Polo Championship from Tuesday. Players from many countries of the world, along with many ambassadors, will be seen at the week-long tournament. Here's a report that brings you all the details. Take a look.
New Delhi's Jaipur Polo Ground is all set to host the BMC Advisors Northern India Polo Championship on Tuesday. Earlier, during a press event, the tournament trophy and the jerseys of the teams participating in the competition were unveiled. On this occasion, BJP MP and Jindal Panthers player Naveen Jindal said that this time there is an atmosphere of enthusiasm among the players for the tournament.
Northern India Polo Championship अभी इस हफ्ते चलेगा, होगा, इसके मैचेस होंगे और ये जो है भारत का जो सबसे उच्च स्तरीय जो पोलो चैंपियनशिप है ये वो है और हमारी टीम जिंदल पैंथर टीम भी इसके अंदर हिस्सा ले रही है.
Players from many countries of the world will also be seen on the field in this tournament. Argentina's ambassador Mariano Casino believes that exciting games will be seen in the championship.
We are very happy that this opportunity of attending this polo championship, in which I am always very happy and glad to observe the recognition that the Indian people have for the polo tradition in Argentina regarding the horses and the best players in the world.
Speaking at the event, Ambassador of Paraguay to India, Fleming Duarte, said he looks forward to the tournament.
I know that India also is very much close to Argentina, where the good horses are coming from. So I started to go to polo 3 to 4 years ago, thanks to my friend Brijesh Mathur. And I believe that Indian polo is very competitive. You have a great performers in this particular sport. I believe that India must be amongst the top 5 in the world.
Teams are all set for the exciting matches that will be played between Jindal Panthers, Crystal Jindal, Achievers and Jaipur Delta at the BMC Advisors Northern India Polo Championship. The final match of the tournament will be played on March 16th. Sushil Kumar's report for DD India.
Now, Indian Film Festival South Africa took place in Johannesburg, showcasing popular Bollywood films, some of which were dubbed in one of the South Africa's national languages. The festival coincides with the celebration of International Women's Day, honouring women within the film industry. DD India correspondent Nazneen Ismail reports.
It's purple carpet arrivals with royalty, dignitary, VIPs and myself. And this is the Indian Film Festival South Africa, proudly brought to you by the High Commission of India, Pretoria, the Consulate General of India, Johannesburg and Z Entertainment Africa. India takes centre stage as the ultimate destination for international filmmakers. Celebrating the rich legacy of Indian cinema, The country offers breathtaking locations and world-class production services, transforming storytelling into cinematic magic. This extraordinary tribute highlights India's growing influence in global filmmaking.
It is an honor to address you today in this ceremony, where we celebrate the extraordinary contributions of South African women in cinema as part of the India-South Africa Film Festival. I'm happy to be part of this recognition of talent, resilience, and creativity, qualities that not only shape the world of film, but also reflect the strength of the women who have long been at the heart of our shared history.
As we all know, cinema is more than entertainment. It is a mirror of our societies, a bridge across continents, and a testament to the enduring ties between our nations.
Once again take you back to Mauritius, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is meeting the President of Mauritius, Dharam Gokul, as part of his visit to Mauritius. There are the visuals which you can see Prime Minister Narendra Modi holding a meeting at the State House with the President of Mauritius, Dharam Gokul, and his wife. This is as part of his two-day visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the country of Mauritius on the invitation of the Prime Minister of Mauritius, Dr. Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also scheduled to attend the National Day celebrations there, and as you can see, the bilateral relationship in rich state right now, exchanging a very strong bilateral relationship between India and Mauritius, because both the countries share a very good trade deal as well. They are one of the very strong partners when we talk about the trade sector. And it is to be noted here that India is amongst the largest trading partners of Mauritius, and Mauritius was the second largest source of FDI as well into India for the year 2023-24. And there these pictures which are coming in from the President's house there in Mauritius, exchanging the gifts and the important items between the two dignitaries, Prime Minister of India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and the President of India, also signifies the bilateral relationship that both the countries share with each other. Now, Mauritius and India also signed earlier a comprehensive economic cooperation and partnership agreement in the month of February back in the year 2021 after nearly 15 years of negotiations. Now, this state visit comes as an assurance that how India and Mauritius are going to grow together, not only in the trade sector, but also in different sectors when we talk about it. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also expected to attend various other events throughout the day. And tomorrow he would be participating in the 57th National Day of Mauritius as the chief guest. And if you talk about particularly trade, it has grown in the last 18 years. And there you can see the visuals coming in from Mauritius's President House as Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets Mauritius President Dharam Gokul there in Mauritius. And with this, it's a wrap here on DD India News Hour. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.